welcome everybody to the P111 Gaming Podcast. I am here with Mikey Mike, and today, myself, Traveler. Now, today we're here to talk about Cyberpunk 2077. Now, this game has been absolutely on the craze right now, and you're thinking probably to yourself as you're watching this, they're just milking it for views. I'm not saying that we're not, by any means. We're just really interested in this game for whenever it comes out in
Uh,
416 next year.
yeah, 416,
I'm
2020, I
honestly
believe.
hyped. So let's just get this out of the way before we even dive into what exactly happened.
Roll the trailer.
V, my man, you made it. You blowing up all over the news. Are you alone?
I just want the money.
You got the chip? All right, start her up, Bug. Why don't you go to the bathroom, wash up. We gonna be with you in a minute.
What?
Oh, come on, man. Your neck, it's a mess.
While hotel security has yet to comment, we do know the suspect seems to have fled the scene.
Initiating combat mode.
Go!
Destination confirmed.
Woo! That's what I'm talking about! Alright! In and out, bitches! We're rich! Oh, we are going to the major leagues, Jackie! Jack? Oh, shit! No. Okay, get to a clinic, now!
Mr. Wells' condition is critical.
Go!
Immediate medical
It's gonna
help
be
is
okay.
required.
Just hold on. Hey, just think about all the good shit we're gonna have, huh? I'm sorry. Just take the fucking chip decks.
Every corporal cop in this city's gonna be blasting down these doors after what you and your psycho friend did. We didn't need all this cocksucking attention, damn it.
Wake the fuck up, samurai. We have a city to burn.
Now, I have to just say, wow, I haven't seen a video game like this in a long time where, like, CD Projekt Red, I mean, I hope you know, is an amazing company. They did amazing works like The Witcher. They did amazing works like The Witcher. That's all I really know. I played The Witcher a while ago.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what they've done besides The Witcher either, but this game honestly looks absolutely incredible. Not even just graphics wise, but I feel like there's an actual story that isn't like captivating on the whole AI human type era.
I have to say, as big as all these things have been since like Keanu Reeves himself walked out on stage and told everybody, like, hey, I'm a part of this game. And he gave a great description of it. Like, it's a breathtaking world that adapts to you and all this stuff. As big as he is, and as big as a surprise that was to see him at E3, is bigger the controversy that's brewing about this game. Like, I'm pretty sure you've heard about a lot of people talking about, like, oh my god, like the gangs and like all these people talking about how like ridiculous this is and this and this and this. They're critiquing the game and it's not even out yet.
Which kind of happens. I mean, that's been happening since like the N64 era, probably before.
Yeah, but like a lot of a lot of these people, and some of these people already know who I'm talking about. They're already going up against, like, they're going at Project Red, saying that they're racists, they're hateful,
Is that because of the whole
all
the
sorts
whole
of
pimp
crap.
scene whenever he comes in at the beginning?
No, there's all sorts of different things going on. It's better not just to get involved with it. Let's just continue with what we were talking about with Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk looks like the biggest bomb drop in E3 right now, 2019. And I mean this in a good way. When Keanu Reeves walked out on stage, people lost their shit. CD Projekt Red is already known for doing things right, and they love in-depth stories and love bringing it to people. When everyone was surrounded and they were waiting to hear the release date, they gave it to us. But then they gave us something extra. Keanu effing Reeves walks out not knowing what to do and kind of just smiles there and kind of just gives his intro and just says, hey, guys, like,
You're
I had a
beautiful.
great time.
You're all beautiful.
You're breathtaking. You're breathtaking. And that was the best part of the entire thing. And then he talked about the game, talked to a couple people, shook a couple people's hands, took a couple photos. It was great. And while he was there, it was just like the bonus, the eye candy was the fact that we get to see him in the game. And that's what's wrapped around the entire story, is that every character in this game has a story that impacts you in some way or another that wants you to shape this city.
Oh, definitely.
And I like games like that because a lot of times stories, when you bring them together, and I've always been looking for a game, a real RPG, and a lot of people sit there today and say, well, I can play Skyrim. Screw you. I can play Fallout. It's still not the same as a real RPG. Well, what's a real RPG? A real RPG is when it takes the narrative and puts you in the scene perfectly. It describes everything. You don't need to go ahead and guess. It tells you. You don't need to point fingers because it tells you. You don't need to go ahead and figure things out because it tells you. Great games like this are hard to come by, and they're usually forgotten in time. Like many of us generation gamers from when the first 64 dropped or the first console game dropped. Remember back then when the classics came out that actually had amazing stories and were overlooked.
Like the original Paper Mario. I know that's kind of like a cult classic,
Hmm.
but like
But don't be afraid to say it. Like, we all have our favorites.
Oh yeah.
And that's the important thing, is that this game actually has something that people have been looking forward to for a long time, new and old. It's finally something where all of us, and people who've even seen the trailer that have goosebumps, are like, bro, I can't wait for 2020. I feel like the year 2020 is going to be an amazing year for gaming.
Exactly. I feel as though this year is kind of like the, hey, we're
Like a
kind of,
dry spell.
yeah, definitely a dry spell, because I mean nothing really exciting's come out from any of really the developers. I mean Nintendo dropped Smash back at late last year, and it was a
That
complete
was
hit.
kind of a high thing, but then it kind of like died off quickly.
Oh yeah, definitely, but they're still
It
putting
was
out
like a
DLC.
giant mountain, and then
Yeah, I feel as though that they're kind of using this year for, as you said, a dry spell. And whenever 2020 rolls around, I mean, the games that are coming out in 2020, I mean, you all saw E3, you all saw what's coming out. Oh my god. This is going to be it's probably going to be one of the best years for gaming in recent years. I know some purists will just be like, the N64 was the best era. I don't care. I'm talking about in recent years. It's games, it's developers like this that are pushing boundaries, having actual celebrities, and
and having a voice to go ahead and share their opinions. I still remember talking to a YouTuber who told me the same thing. He said that, CD Project Red, the guy who originally made, Cyberpunk, I think it was Cyberpunk 20, I forget the old Cyberpunk. Was it Cyberpunk 2020?
I'm not sure. I'd have to look up into that. I'll put it up right here.
So the developer, the original designer and book writer, whatever you want to call him, is black. And people are poking at the fact that the main characters are white. And when I was talking to him, he was like, "Oh yeah, man, like they're poking at him, telling him that, because, he's a black man, he should have more respect for himself." And he gets on Twitter and he gets on Reddit and defends himself and says, "I don't give a what you say. It's my game. I'm going to make it how I want it." And people are telling him how to make the game, and I love his response, which I wish every developer did this, because it is such a beautiful thing when you watch someone say something which it feels like it came from God's mouth to your ears. It was literally this. He said that I made Cyberpunk 2020. I guess you can do better. He didn't say that exactly, but that was basically his quote. Shutting people down. Basically tell them that maybe I should have made the game entirely. Maybe you should have made it. It would have been better. No responses after that. I mean, there were still, people like, "Are you a little bitch?" Still saying stuff, but it's something like that where someone has the passion to stand up for something and say, "Hey, listen, what I'm doing is right. I have a big audience. I have fans. I have these people that don't care what you think. I'm going to make the game how I want it because I know what I want to make. And if it sucks, it sucks." And I respect that. Don't change because people are upset. Change because it's something that is needed.
Exactly. Man, I really wish I completely agree. I really think developers should actually be more upfront instead of like, I mean, there should be a sense of professionalism whenever it comes to, being on social media, on, your studio's platform for social media. But if it's like your
Mhm.
personal thing and you say, you're president of X company, and then someone's just like, "Oh no, your game sucks," and you go, "Fuck you," that's completely fine. I mean, hey, the dude's being honest.
I mean, there are some areas where you can't just come out and just tell somebody, "Fuck you." But I mean, I totally agree what you're saying is to defend themselves. Like, hey, maybe you should have made something better. It's kind of like someone telling you, right? Like one of the most classic video games, Super Mario Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
There are people out there who believe that Super Mario is racist because he's an Italian plumber, and they connect these like imaginary dots and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
I know we're getting out of hand here, but like If you think you can do better, try it.
Yeah, it's like show me, have it
See
on my
where it
desk
gets
by
you.
Monday.
Exactly. Show us what you got. And that always ends with a, well, I would if I knew how. I bet you would. So why don't you? Well, because I don't want to do that. Exactly. So shut up.
Exactly. It's best quoted by Mick Thompson from Slipknot. It's I think they were recording the Iowa record or one of their earlier albums, and they had record labels up at them left and right, and they're just like, oh no, this doesn't sound good, this doesn't, and everything else. Meanwhile, the Slipknot album sold this amount of copies in its heyday, and they went absolutely insanely viral. And the album after, they were getting up at it, by fans, record labels, whatever it may be. And Mick basically said, if you have something, better to do or can show me how, have it on my desk by Monday or I don't care.
I like that. Put your money where your mouth is. Show me.
Exactly.
Because your actions speak louder than words. But back to the original point. Cyberpunk 2077 had to be the biggest thing at E3.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, arguably, come on, Keanu Reeves
My God.
walking on stage in mist, dressed in goddamn, John Wick attire, suit.
Looking like the Fortnite guy.
I mean, he was in Fortnite. That was pretty badass. That almost made me want to play Fortnite, but no.
Yeah. But
I kind of said no to that.
I feel as though Cyberpunk actually won E3 in the sense of video games coming out. In a sense,
I think it's easily going to be video game of the year of 2020.
Oh, definitely, dude. Are you kidding me? Keanu Reeves in a crazy game like this, it's going to be, or at least top 3.
And at number 10 or number 11 is going to be the next Call of Duty.
Of course, because corporate.
Yep.
But I feel as though. Do you have anything else to talk about?
No.
All right. Well, I feel as though we're gonna wrap this up, and we will see you guys later, and we will catch you on the next video coming up whenever this date here. All right. I have been Traveler. This has been Mike.
Bonjour.
We'll talk to you guys next time.